everyone, and welcome back to our Chinese culture series. In this video, we are talking about Chinese traditions and holidays. So Bruce, what are the most important days and celebrations in China?
In China, we have three major festivals. Number one is the Spring Festival, which is the Chinese New Year. It's the 1st of January on the lunar calendar. That's the biggest one. The next one is a Dragon Boat Festival. It's the 5th of May on the lunar calendar. And the third one is Mid-Autumn Day.
So the first one?
I'll start from Spring Festival. So Spring Festival apparently is New Year's Day, and theme color is red. In different parts of China, maybe they will be doing the dragon dancing, the lion dancing. It's the longest festival. At that time, just everybody was trying to really do anything they could good to other people. The boss would say, it's time for you to go back home and have that family reunion, and here's the bonus, this and that. The real time where it's really peaceful, I guess. And coupled with that is the hugest human migration of history every year during the Spring Festival, because a lot of people are migrant workers. So during that time, the quantity of people moving around China is beyond your imagination. Because imagine a place with 1.6 billion people. So many people are moving during that period of time. And every year, getting a train ticket for the migrant workers is literally a battle, just battling against each other.
You have to book it like 1 year in advance.
Coming to the topic of making booking, in China, we don't have this habit of making a booking. If you go to a restaurant, you drop in. You go to a hair salon, you drop in. You go anywhere, you drop in. You don't make a booking. With the sheer number of consumers and so many number of the same type of shops on the street, you don't really need to make a booking. You can always find a spot. It's all sort of like you come, I serve you. You come, you wait a little bit, and I serve you sort of basis like that. And coming back to Spring Festival, it's a time where families will get together to have that family reunion dinner together. I remember when we were young, we also do the firecrackers. Traditionally, that's to shield off the bad spirit so they don't come and bother you in the coming year. I think nowadays they're all banned. Maybe in some rural areas you can still play them, but in cities definitely that's all banned. I think it was banned for quite a number of years, and 1 year it got lifted. We would light our fireworks at 12 a.m. sharp. And I remember so clearly, I was with my then girlfriend, now my wife. We drove on the streets, and all of a sudden the whole city is exploding, and everywhere it's smoke. You could smell gunpowder, everywhere. And it's like some places starting a civil war. But that was really fun. You see everywhere it's lit up, and I could still smell gunpowder in the fireworks. That's Spring Festival. And the second one.
So the second one was a Dragon
Boat Festival, the 5th of May, lunar calendar. That one is apparently before the autumn harvest. We would make glutinous rice cakes and drop it into the water or something to... There are different stories how this came about. One was to say there was this great patriot back in ancient China era, and he was really patriotic and he contributed his life, everything to the country, but then he was actually expelled for some reason I couldn't quite remember. But then he was lowered into the river to be sort of like a sea burial. And then we threw a glutinous rice cake into the river so the fish doesn't eat his body. Instead, they eat the glutinous rice. That was one story. And the other was, in a similar sense, just to shed off the evil spirits so the autumn harvest is not affected. To me, it's always a good time to have some glutinous rice cake. And there was an interesting argument between people from the north and south of China when it comes to whether the glutinous rice should be savory or sweet. The people grow up in the area where they eat savory, saying, sweet? No way! How can that be made sweet? And people from the sweet part, no way, savory? No, like that, yeah. Fun facts to go along with that.
And the third holiday you mentioned?
And the third one was Mid-Autumn Day. On Mid-Autumn Day, we would have moon cakes. Basically, it's meant to be enjoyed with your family because moon signifies reunion, round. So it's full and round.
Like
so it's a time.
A family circle, basically.
Yeah, like that. So that's the three major festivals. So you could see there's a huge emphasis on family in Chinese culture.
Are there international holidays that are celebrated somewhat differently?
Yes, so we all know the International Women's Day. When we were growing up back in China, that's a day when it's an opportunity for husbands to buy gifts for their wives and children to buy gifts to say thanks to their mothers. But here in Australia, while I was doing that, I think that I was buying a pair of shoes on that day for my wife. I was in the shoe store, and the shop assistant came to me and say, "Today is International Women's Day. I'm buying something for my wife." And she said, "Oh, I've never heard of that." And I saw a group of women activists marching down the street. We want more say, we want equality, things like that. So apparently in Australia, it has a completely different notion. International Women's Day. It's a day more for empowering women in a sense. So yeah, that's a completely different way of how we celebrate it.
Thanks a lot for this interview, and I will see you again in our next video.